So, a while ago, we asked you, we didn't ask you, we asked if anybody was interested in sponsoring us so we could make drone images, drone videos, shoot nice videos with a drone. And the reactions were overwhelming. So in the end, we bought a drone ourselves. We're gonna make a video about it, have a short review, the pros, the cons, what we like, what we don't like, and we hope you enjoy it. It's going up mountain again, folks. So we picked a space for you guys to give a nice review, fly around with the drone a bit. So without further ado, never mind Opa, that's German for thanks Grandpa. I don't know which vandal vandalized this nice park bench, but who cares? We decided to buy a DJI drone. This case we bought on Amazon. It didn't come with the drone, and it's not an official case, but it does the job. It's, yeah, what is it? Hard plastic. It's not soft cloth, so it doesn't get damaged real fast. You don't want to drive over this with a truck, but that's the case. When we look in the case, we see there's a remote control with cinematic, normal, sports. We'll tell you more about that later. And then we see the drone itself. And what's that on the drone? Did you write on your drone? Yeah, we have to. This is Germany. In Germany, there are rules, laws, and rules, and more laws. Tell you later about that. There's an extra battery. Then there's another case, which you can open. What's in the case? Let's see. In the case is a USB to USB-C cable. There's another USB to USB-C cable. And the fun just doesn't stop. There's another battery for you. The drone came with one battery only. It's a used drone. It's a drone somebody bought and they sent it back to the company, and then we bought it and we got a reasonable discount because the box was already opened by a customer who sent it back. So it's used, but it's not used. Then we bought 2 extra batteries, and there it is. So what's about writing on the drone? In Germany, you have to registrate your drone. Even when it's under 250 grams, you still have to have an official registration number. And if you don't put the registration number on your drone, you're gonna have a bad time. So that's one. What else do you have to do in Germany when you want to fly a drone? You have to have an insurance. If you don't have an insurance in Germany and you want to fly your drone, you're gonna have a bad time. So the registration is about $20. The insurance is about $40 for a whole year. And then you're allowed to fly. But you cannot fly over areas where lots of people are. over crowds. You cannot fly over areas where people live when you're too low in the air, because then you will see what garden chairs people have in their backyard. And Germans are really secretive about the stuff they have in their backyard and in their sheds and in their houses, and so you cannot fly low over houses. Then how high can you fly in Germany? I think there's a maximum of 100 meters. What's 100 meters? It's about 100 yards. It's about 300 feet. If you fly any higher than that, you guessed it, you're gonna have a bad time. So we're gonna see if it stays dry. It looks a bit threatening. And then we're gonna send the drone up in the sky for you, and you can see how it flies. So in order to use the remote control, you have to get the remote control sticks, which are clicked in the bottom side of the remote control. You take them out, you put them in there. There's an extra set of controller sticks that come with the drone, as well as an extra set of wings. Then there's the extractable DJI, where you can put your phone in. And then there's a little cable connector, in this case a lightning cable connector for your iPhone, but there's also an Android connector. Install it when you're at home, because if you do it here, the batteries are gonna drain while you're just setting up an app. Then when it's all ready to go, you can turn on the drone. In order to make the drone ready to fly, you have to short push and then immediately long push the power button, because a short push only will show you the battery level. Then you take off the protection for the gimbal, which my son is doing the wrong way, but never mind. And then you extend the legs. First, those legs, because they fold outward, and then these legs, because they fold downward, or how do you say that? Then you put the drone somewhere where it can take off, but since there's reasonably high grass here, we're gonna put the drone here and let it take off from the bench. I'm not sure if that will work out fine, because there's a branch here which is pretty much above the drone, but I trust my son. He knows it better than this old guy. So we're gonna show the takeoff. The startup procedure for the remote control is the same as the drone. You short push and immediately long push the power button, and then it turns on. So let's fly to the sky. It's hard to see, it goes up really fast. Of course, we got sunlight blinding the camera. So there's, like I said, 3 modes on the remote control. There's cinematic, which will let you make slow cinematic shots. Then there's normal mode, which will let you take normal shots and move you somewhere reasonably fast. And if you want to get to a certain point somewhere real fast and then make Beautiful shots there. You put it in sports mode to get there really fast. Faster than I can film this. And when you get there, you change to cinematic and you make a few beautiful cinematic shots. Here it comes in sports mode. It's really fast. Well, the DJI Mini SE2 or the DJI Mini 2 SE, however you want. The pros and the cons. We have flown it for about a week and a half now. I think we took it out 6 times. So the pros are the reliability of the brand. It's a well-known brand. Of course you have to saw wood right now. Well, never mind. Then another pro for me was the camera. The camera gives, it's a matter of taste of course, it gives awesome images. In this time of year you got a lot of yellowing and freshly green fields and woods here in the Ore Mountains, and in the evening sun it gives off really beautiful images. So the specs of the camera are gonna be shown right here, so you can check out what options you have when you want to go filming. It's not a 4K camera, but since we only use 1080 in our videos at the most, so we thought we would just start off with a reasonably priced drone, and we didn't need 4K immediately. Then it's small, you can take it anywhere. Like I said, the case, this is my hand, this is the case, so you can take it anywhere. You can put it in a backpack when you go biking, you can put it in your ATV when you go riding with your ATV, you can take it out camping, so that's cool. There's lots of aftermarket parts, also generic brands, so you don't have to buy the expensive batteries if you don't want to. I think a battery for this type momentarily in May 2025 is around 100 euros, which is about $100, and a generic battery will set you back around 60 euros, about $60. So when you're starting out and you don't want to spend too much, do like we did. We bought the generic batteries, and the fly time for one battery, it depends on the wind and if you use sports mode a lot, but it's around 15 minutes. The package says around 30, up to 30 minutes I think, but they have to sell the stuff. Another pro is when you want to go really low to the ground with the drone. It doesn't let you put the drone too low so that you crash into the ground. It has sensors on the bottom side of the body, so it doesn't land where it cannot land, so to say. So in this grass, which is reasonably high, it wouldn't land. Maybe if you force the joysticks down, it will land, but I wouldn't recommend that, because that will be the end of the wings when they get stuck in the grass. Then another pro, the range of the drone. They say it's about up to 8 kilometers. We will put right here how many miles that is. doesn't make it to 8 kilometers right here in the mountains, because like I said, you got mountains, you got woods, you got trees, and that will break down the range. But if you're on flat land, I think it might just go up to 8 kilometers. Even with the mountains and the trees, you can fly it really far. I mean, really far. I don't know if you can see this on screen. You see a chimney, and then you see a village behind the chimney. And behind the village you see a field, and then you see woods. You can fly up to the woods here. That's no problem. So for a person starting out with a drone, it's sufficient enough. Another pro is the speed. When you're in sports mode, it's really fast. Depends on the wind, of course, but it's really fast. When you want to fly up to the sky, when it takes off, it's also really fast. We're gonna put the kilometers an hour or the miles an hour right here on the screen. And then there's the return to home function, which is pretty accurate. It can be 3 feet to the left or the right, but it's pretty accurate. Then, of course, like with every product, there's the cons. The cons. There's not many, but with a little drone like this, that's not too expensive and it's not too new, it doesn't have obstacle sensors. So when you're an idiot and you don't watch out and you fly straight into a tree, the drone is not gonna fly around the tree for you. It will fly into the tree. And when you let your drone fly into a tree, you're gonna have a bad time. Same thing goes for a house or any other building, a chimney, a person, a bicycle, a dog, an elephant. You get the idea. So no obstacle sensors, only on the bottom. Then there's no follow me function. You can make a little square in your app and then it will follow you when you walk. But for instance, when you say, let's ride on the ATV and let the drone follow me, it's not gonna do that. The little beeping noise you hear in the background is the remote controller telling us the battery is almost empty, so the drone has to land. Which it cannot do because the grass is too high. So what I'm gonna do is put my hand out and let it land on my hand. Another pro. But we were at the cons. Another con is the batteries. I told you before, the generic ones are reasonably priced, $60, 60 euros, but they advertise it with flying times up to 30 minutes. Well, you just saw it, 15 minutes when you just want to use the sports mode every now and then. And you want to go up high and a little low and a little up the hill, a little down the hill. So general use, 15 minutes tops. And then you have to change the battery. Charging the battery in the drone is another con for me. It takes a couple of hours. Depending on your charger, some chargers are a little faster, but it takes a long time. Then there's charging docks for this drone. They can hold up to 3 batteries. And I've read good things and bad things about it, so you have to do your own research about that. I didn't buy it. I just charge the battery in the drone, and when it's full, I take it out and charge the next battery. The last con is a thing, I think it happens to every drone. When you really push it into sports mode and you let it fly really fast, the thing can get hot. And I think that's with every drone you buy. I'm not a specialist, this is our first drone. But it can get reasonably hot, and when you don't know that, and you put it in this little China case, which has a really big China smell from itself, and you put it on the back seat of the car and you drive home, then you could get a little panic when you start smelling something like a burning sensation coming from the back seat. Nothing melted, nothing burned, but it got pretty hot and left a pretty good smell to be worried about. When you don't know, the thing can get really hot. So when we fly the drone and it gets hot, we feel it now every time when we're ready filming. We just put it in the case and leave the case open when we drive home. So that was the review for DJI Mini SE. If you want to know more, check out the internet. If you want to know the specifics, check out the webpage of DJI yourself. And if you want to see more footage, subscribe to our video, like our videos. Click on the bell so that you get a message as soon as we upload another video. In other words, push all the buttons.